Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Dollspace. I'm on death's door, Sam Doll, and this is...
Auntie Annie Clark.
Oh no, Annie, right
Oh
when you
no,
started
you
speaking,
froze.
your internet.
Right after he said, well, there's no lag right now. Looks good to me.
Yeah, pressed record and the joke was frickin' on us, but
Is it
can you
fine
hear
now?
me? Like, you're not moving at all.
Oh,
No.
you're normal for me.
Good, okay.
Oh,
Well, you sound normal
Jesus.
for me. And for those of you at
Okay.
home, maybe someone could tell us how the fuck to do a podcast.
And maybe someone could tell Rogers and or Bell, internet,
Mm-hmm.
how the fuck it's 2024 and we
Yeah.
can't video conference and record it for our
Yeah.
fans.
Seamlessly. This should be a seamless process, and here we are struggling every single week. And you'll notice that today is Friday. This episode is coming out late. That's because I wasn't kidding when I said I'm on death's door. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll know that I'm pregnant and it's going really well this time.
For some.
For
For them.
some, for the
For the
child,
baby.
for the unborn child, it's going really, really well. And for the born mother, it's going, I don't know. I don't want to
Horribly
say
wrong.
like the worst it could possibly go, because it's not in the hospital or anything.
Yep.
Knock on wood. But it's been
Could be better.
so it definitely could be better. It's been so bad. Unbelievably bad. Probably like worse than I could have pictured. So all you people struggling in your first trimester, shouts out to you, because I know every version of suffering in your first trimester is different. Because like some people, for example, like I'm not a puker, right? So like I'm not someone that's like puking all the time. But then, you know, like Christine, our friend Christine, was saying she would puke once a day and then she was like functional for the rest of the day. So she'd like get to that point, but then she could like go out for dinner that night. So all of them are just like a different level of annoying. For me, unfortunately, it is 24/7 nausea that just is unrelenting. And there's no relief, and it's just been a month of it.
And can I say, okay, I didn't have either, but I will say I would rather puke. Like, as someone who just had norovirus, remember, guys? It wasn't too
Yes.
long ago.
Yeah. Ooh,
The
do I
best
ever.
part of that virus, like the best part of that experience, that awful 24 hours, was the sweet
Mhm.
relief of throwing
Yes.
up after.
Yes.
Like, you got a
Yeah.
little bit of like a 10-minute break of like, oh, finally, before the nausea was like the worst part.
Yeah. And you know what? This nausea isn't even the kind, sorry that this is so throw up fucking focused, because I know I
Hey,
don't
if
like
you can
that.
handle it,
But
if you can handle it, then I'm sure everyone else can.
yes, and for all my emetophobia bitches that have a fear of throwing up and are therefore nervous to get pregnant, it's actually fine. Like, that is the least of my problems. Like, my fear of throwing up is so taking the back seat to how fucking annoyed I am on a daily basis. Like,
Isn't that
it's actually
great? What a
more,
silver lining.
yeah, I mean, it is flooding to an extent, but it's like obviously I'm not actually throwing up, which is nice, but I do feel like I'm going to throw up at all times. So
Ugh.
that's annoying. And paired with that, like if you're just feeling like you're going to throw up at all times for a month, what I've learned is that that's actually depressing. So a good
Completely.
combo of like physical and mental hell. But so pumped to be
Yeah.
pregnant. Baby's doing well. If you didn't know I was pregnant, this is my pregnancy announcement. This grim ass beginning of this. And to say what all of you are thinking, yes, it's beautiful that Annie and I are pregnant at the same time.
Yes. And we actually didn't have to keep it for as long, which was nice.
Because
Like
I couldn't
how,
keep it.
yeah. I'm like,
Like there
so
was no
before
way.
you announced, well, yeah, actually, maybe I've known for like a month.
Yeah, you've
Do you
probably known
think?
for a month, but for sure, I feel like I've been pregnant for fucking ever. And it's
Oh,
only been
yeah.
10 weeks.
That's a long
So
time.
brutal. And it is a long time. And it's a long time when you've done it twice in a year for fucking nothing the first time.
Right.
Like obviously it was only like 9 weeks last time, but still, that's a long fucking time. It's a long time to be pregnant. This seems longer though, because I'm sick. Last time I didn't even
Yeah.
fucking
Last time you
flinch.
like went to Vegas. But no, it's so. Oh, also, you have to release the clip because Sam actually told me on an episode. I'm putting that in quotes because we didn't actually release it, but
Yeah.
we went to go record remotely. It was one week that we just ended up being like, yeah, we're not
So
doing it
no,
this week.
you know why it was remote. If you guys saw that, I was like, Annie's staying away from me because she has norovirus.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't tell her yet, but she was like, I have norovirus, and luckily, I'm already so afraid of vomiting that it made perfect sense for me to be like, do not come to my house. But on top of it, Joe was like, don't fuck with that in case, like, because I was like at that point like 4 weeks pregnant or something.
Yeah.
So I had to
So
tell
then
her
we
on the
did it
pod.
remotely, and then she told me. So we have a fun little clip of her telling me, which actually I still haven't seen. But then
Oh, I know, I haven't.
we spoke, we recorded it, like not as a podcast. We were just like, okay, now we're just talking about the fact that you're
Yeah.
pregnant for like an hour. And then we were
No,
like,
and then no,
anyway, want to not record the podcast? Okay, bye. So we just have like an
we have
hour
an
of our
hour.
recorded private
Yeah, and
convo.
no, what's funny about that private convo is like, yeah, half of it's about my pregnancy, but then I really needed all the details of your norovirus. So it's like, it's half disgusting and half like joyous.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's a raw conversation between pals. So we can
It's
maybe
just funny also
release
that
that
this
at
is
some point.
not like when we started this podcast and we were like, oh, it's going to be so cute when we're both pregnant. Like, we're like, oh, we'll have to announce on the pod. Oh, yeah, we'll have to do something major for the pod. Both of us, like, could not even, like, we just announced randomly on social media and then did a remote episode being like, by the way, pregnant.
Ugh,
Like,
no energy. Well,
we could have been cuter, but baby reveals,
when you
maybe.
were pregnant, like you were in St. Catharines napping a lot. Like you were tired. Like it's hard
Hmm.
when you're remote to like be in person all the time to like make these moments,
And when
but
you
like
don't
whatever.
know
When we
how you're going to feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And we're
too. And
actually both
also
in Toronto currently, but just
that's
can't
how
be
bad
doing
it
that.
is.
Hopefully next week.
And the funniest part is that we are two adults that moved in with our parents because we just couldn't deal with our lives. Like I literally moved here a month ago. I took the guys the day I told my parents, I never left. That was a month ago. That's literally what my life is because I was so sick. I had to tell them. I could not fucking wait to tell them because I'm like, I
Oh,
can't have
thank
this
God.
secret. Like, I need to be taken care of. Like, I'm a baby and Joe is working and like whatever. And anyway, I've been here for a month and then Annie went to her parents and I was messaging her yesterday. I'm like, are you going home for Thanksgiving? She's like, no, I'm just staying here. I'm like, I get it. I'm also just staying here. Like,
Yeah, we
do
were
not
both
come
like,
to
I'm
me.
so happy, cozy at my parents'. Like, I need it, as y'all know, Reno is still ongoing, and I've been living at my in laws since the first week of August. So I said to Luke, I was like, I need a vacation. He's like, okay. I was like, I'm going to Toronto for like 2 weeks, probably. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And I was just like, yeah, I'm only going to stay for 10 days, but I'm like, I need like a solid break, like not bopping back and forth. I need to like have a different life for 10 days
Yeah.
straight. And he was like,
Yeah.
okay. I was like not doing well. I
Okay.
like started crying and had a breakdown. I was like, I need to go back to my old life. And he was like, oh my God, go.
Oh my
And
God,
then
really?
I haven't even done
Was
anything in my
this
old life. I've literally just been chilling with my parents. I feel like I
was this the day
remember,
you were texting me when you were like when I
yes,
said how are
hate
you
my
and you
horrible
said
life.
yeah.
Hate my horrible life.
No, you
No,
said
what
something
did I
else. You were
say?
like kind of you said you said like kind of sick of this shit. Like kind of emo slash sick of this shit. Haha.
I think I said like fed up or something.
Fed the fuck up. That's what you said. You said I'm emo slash fed the fuck up.
I
I was
just
like,
could
damn.
not with just yeah, it was a lot of things at once, and like also hormonal, as you know, so you're just like
Yes.
feeling everything so much deeper. And I was like, I actually need to just like go back to my, like, honestly, like pandemic life, like before Luke and I moved
Yeah.
in together. That's what it feels like. I just am
Yeah.
cozy at my parents. I like don't even do anything. I go for walks, bake cookies. chill
Oh,
with
dude,
them.
same. I'm like a patient. Like, I'm walking around the yard. Like, I actually feel like maybe my neighbors are like, what the hell? Because if they can't see LV, it's like me in a nightie. I can't have anything touching my stomach. I'm so fucking nauseous. I just got big shirts. I sent my mom to Winners. I was like, go get me some big shirts. She comes back with the ugliest large shirts. I'm just sitting back there with big compression socks on, big shirt, and just like walking in circles, breathing through my nose, and then being like, good job. Like, if you looked out the window, it looked like I'm just walking in circles talking to myself. I've done that every single day this month. It's fucking horrifying. Like, if I lived next to me, I'd be scared.
I don't know what my excuse is because I feel great. I just
Oh, really?
mentally I didn't feel great. I guess I
You're
needed
doing a
this.
mental cleanse.
I'm doing a mental cleanse. Last
And you know
Was it
what?
last year? Yeah, last year I went to PEI with my parents and we just had a little cottage in PEI and literally I just
Hmm.
read books and we just went on walks and ate food and it was so cozy and relaxing. And I said to my mom
Yeah.
last night, I'm like, I feel like I'm back in PEI. And she's like, "Oh, that's the nicest thing you could say to a mother." I'm like, that I think I'm in
Uh,
PEI. The nicest thing you could say to a mother is that
say
you
to a
feel
mother.
like you're in PEI. And for those who don't know what that is, it's Prince Edward Island, which is a
I
province,
was
a
just gonna say.
beautiful
Yeah.
province in Canada.
Yes, that you've been to twice, right?
Just the once, and
Oh,
stuck with
really?
me. The vibe.
Wow.
PEI is a state of mind, it turns out.
It does turn out because now you're in the beaches in Toronto, and hey, it's just like
Hey,
PEI.
water's water.
Wa-
Oh, you like that?
oh, damn. I don't know. I've been tired, everyone. I told
Okay.
Annie, I'm like, because I was feeling sick and I was like, oh, I just have to like eat my macaroni and cheese and then okay, we're like two losers in this intro, like just like mentally fucked up. But anyway, I
I
was
think
like,
they'd like to know. I
I
mean, this is all that's going on with us. Like, what else are we supposed to say?
yeah, I don't know, literally nothing. I and then it's
Okay,
just so
go
funny
on.
because our friend Carolyn, oh, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say, something about being depressed, but
Oh,
Carolyn,
yeah.
like we're in a group chat with all our pigs, and Carolyn is living. Well, Carolyn and Emma, two of our
No,
piggies,
yeah.
are in
Emma
LA
always
right now.
is.
Forget Emma, forget her. Emma from Stellar Eats Cooking, our sponsor. She's a CEO. She lives in LA and she's hot. Okay, so whatever. That's great. They're in LA together, and when they're together in LA, they are silly. And they've just been sending us the most like 20s core content I have ever. And they like, I'm like, you guys don't even realize your lives right now are like, it is stressing me out because I'm so sick that I can't even imagine doing that many things in a day. But last night, Carolyn was at an event. She was backstage at the Call Her Daddy live event, and she was messaging us being like, oh, Harry Jowsey's here and he's really tall but really not hot.
Oh, yeah, true. Good intel.
And then she sent
And
a picture
Camila
of
Cabello was there.
Camilla.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My
I still don't really
nemesis
get
who
what that
doesn't know I
is. She
exist.
hasn't given us all the deets on that, but yeah, they are
Yeah,
living a life that is quite different from ours
so
right now.
foreign to me at this point, but at a point in time, something very relatable. Like, you know what I mean? Like that
You were
reminds me
supposed to be on
of
that trip, in
yeah.
fact.
I did bail on that trip because I was so
Fair
sick. I
enough.
could thank God I didn't book my flights. That would have been so fucking annoying
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have gone.
for me. No, I wouldn't have gone. It's just thank God I didn't even fucking book because that would have
Yeah,
been
true.
annoying to like anyway.
We had a
Um
feeling. I really knew you were going to be pregnant this time. Like, I just knew.
yes.
And you know
And I
what's
also said
crazy?
it on my TikTok, which is cool. I was like, I
You
will have
did?
a baby in May. Yes, and I didn't
Oh,
remember saying that,
yeah.
and some of my followers were like, "Wait, like is this not that thing where you said you were woo woo?" Because I went, "I'm woo woo. I think I'm going to have a baby in May." And then a bunch of my
Yes.
followers picked up on that. And then
And then
I
remember
have
we
something
saw
to say
that
about TikTok
rainbow?
after this.
Remember
We
we
both
both
saw a
saw that
rainbow
rainbow? And it wasn't
on
on
not
a
a
rainy
rainy day.
day.
Mhm.
And I said,
Mhm.
okay, not to sound too out there, but I think that means your rainbow baby is en route. And you
Yep.
know what else is crazy? I always, when I
What?
would picture, like since me being pregnant, I always, when I would picture the future, I was like, our kids are 3 months apart. Like I made that up,
Mhm.
but that is what it
Oh,
is.
really?
Yeah, like I just
Oh, that's
saw
cute.
that. It just made sense. Like I was just like, yeah.
Mhm.
And you know why also that made sense? Because, sorry to
Why?
bring this up, but if your first pregnancy had lasted and then I got pregnant at the same
They
time, they would still be 3 months
Oh.
apart. Like it was just they were
Wow,
meant
so
to be 3 months apart.
divine. In
Yeah,
the same year instead.
which is way
Because
better, we
which is
determined.
way better. We discussed that. Actually, when I was pregnant the first time, Annie had to console me a little because I was like, "Oh, but they're going to be like a year apart in school. Not like they're going to go to school together, but like whatever." I was like, "Maybe they'll start university at the same time. They can do everything
Yeah.
together, whatever." And then you were saying that you and your cousin Julia, who is also a listener of the pod and also a
Yes.
late birthday, a December birthday, and you, it's like didn't make a difference that you were a year apart. But now we
And
don't even have to think
Emma
about that
and
because
Kara, yeah.
oh yeah, and the friends we were just talking about are all a year younger than us.
And Christine, but it's
Oh
different
my god,
growing
I
up
forgot.
together. I mean, Emma and I grew up together, um but yeah, it would have been fine, but it's definitely finer. Like when we're
It's
empty
definitely
nesters, we
finer.
can like cry over that together.
Oh, sob. Just
Really
sob.
fast
We'll
forwarding
cry.
here.
We'll still be doing the pod, probably.
Of course, not making a
Of
dime,
course.
just
Not
for the
making
love of the game.
our kids are just like, look at this hobby you fucking losers still have. They're disgusted.
Podcasts don't even exist. We're just putting it out on some website for people to hopefully stumble across.
Like where boomers go. People our generation, millennials, just like finding shit
I
they
would
like.
like to say though, even though we are late, considering your state, it is impressive that we're just like a day late and still doing this. Like I was like, we do not have to do this, and Sam's like, no,
Yeah.
we must.
No, I needed to talk to someone. Honestly, I've noticed because yesterday I went into a little depression and then I went
Hmm.
upstairs and I played my piano and I was like, and I forgot I felt sick.
It's
And I was like, okay,
great.
see, you just need to like start taking care of yourself. And I'm also going to tell you something really dark that I
Yeah.
thought the other day, but that was kind of cute. I was just like, you know how you and I both have a little voice in our heads?
Yes.
Like we have a conscience that speaks,
Mm-hmm.
unlike
Mm-hmm.
Joe, who just thinks in pictures. And I just want
Yes.
to say this
And
point. I
Luke,
just
who
want to
just
flesh out
thinks in ones and zeros.
Luke is a binary system. The rudest thing I've ever said that your sister quoted on your wedding day.
We just watched the
Anyway,
speeches. Wait, to just to build on that for a sec, interject. We watched my wedding speeches last night because my parents hadn't seen them yet,
mhm.
and I mean, yeah, you and Joe like killed it. We have to play that. Like we have to when we get our Patreon back. Look out
Yeah,
because we're gonna put that up.
look out. You
Um,
got to.
but my sister's speech still like exceeds my
Slaps.
expectations every time I watch it. But yeah,
Yeah,
she she's or we I think we maybe said this, but she was like, I
we
believe it
did.
was an unnamed podcast that described Luke as a binary system, ones and zeros. And Luke just he's bursts out laughing, but he's like looking to the crowd, being like, what?
What?
What podcast?
And what bitch said that? Oh, your best
My
friend's
wife?
wife? Your wife's best friend? Oh, why is she so mean?
No, I think he took it as a compliment.
Taking that as a compliment is such a Luke thing to do. He's like, it's more good than bad. That's a one, not a zero. um, but what I was going to say was, while I was in my head yesterday, I had little voice go, you know what? You are just so overwhelmed. You just need to chill the hell out, go play your piano, and everything's actually okay. You're just freaking yourself out, and blah, blah, blah. And then other me went, I'm so glad you're here. Like, you are
Oh,
going to be a good person to have around, like, on my deathbed. And
oh, yeah.
other me then said, I'll be there. And also, I'll come with you. Solidarity, sister.
Beautiful.
I was like, that was such a nice exchange between you and you.
I
Front
have
brain and other
had
brain.
that exchange before, not about deathbed, but that's a nice thought, I guess. I've had it where I've thought something really like niche and funny where one part of me has been like, that was so funny that you just thought that or made that connection. And I'm like,
Thank
thanks.
you.
I'm so happy I didn't even have to explain that to you. And it's like, no, I get you more than anyone in this world. You literally don't have to explain anything to me. And I'm like, that's incredible. Let's just go around like observing things and having a good time. And then the other one said, yeah, I'm there.
Forever.
Yeah, like no worries. No need to explain. I get it.
Like, are we describing self-love or schizophrenia? What are we describing?
I think self-love, unless it tells us to do something
Personified.
freaky. Like if it suddenly says like push your friend on the train tracks, then maybe that's not good.
Mine doesn't usually say shit like that. Sometimes mine will be like, push yourself on the train tracks, and then goes, nah. Like sometimes mine will look over
Yeah.
like a big building and go, jump. And then it goes, kidding.
Yeah, I don't
But
have
that's
that.
just an intrusive thought. Oh, you
Yeah.
don't have intrusive
My
thoughts?
well, no, it's more just like, whoa, imagine I fell off this. That would be so scary. Like I'll let myself be like, whoa, that would be awful, but it's never like something I'm going to do. You know, like if I'm on
Yes.
a
Okay.
tall thing, I would be like, "Oh my God, imagine falling from this height." Like, ah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would never be like, "What if you just jumped?"
Oh,
You know, like it's
okay.
always
Yeah.
happening to me as a bad thing, not like
Yeah.
from me.
Wow. I wonder if you're a victim. I wonder if that's victim mentality. Things are just
Yeah.
happening to me. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I should
Whereas,
examine that in life.
I don't, that's funny, and everything is my fault in my mind. But I still like myself. It's okay.
Okay, good. And that's why I'm at peace, I guess. It's just happening to me, not my fault.
Everything's just happening to me. No, that's okay. You don't need to have intrusive thoughts about jumping in front of trains to be a good person. It's okay.
To have self-love.
Anywho, to have self love. No, you can love yourself and think whatever you want.
I think
I
that's
was
a
going to say
beautiful
something
thought.
else.
Okay.
I have been losing so much. Okay, TikTok has been fucking me lately. Ever since I announced I was pregnant, which was honestly just a video of me complaining, like the beginning of this
Mm-hmm.
podcast. So we'll see if we lose listeners. Um, I have lost like 200 followers in like a
But
day. I go, what
I
the
saw a
heck?
video of yours where everyone in the comments was being so supportive and being like, um, talk like we like you anyway and talk about what's going on in
That
your
was,
life. We don't care. Like the comments were so
yeah.
nice.
The comments were so nice, but I think a lot of Gen Zs were like, not relatable. And also I wonder if because this is something I would do after I miscarried. I wonder if because I was such a
Oh,
miscarriage and then I got
queen?
pregnant that I was
Yeah,
yeah, like when you just like can't look at something that makes you jealous, like that's
for
something that
sure.
would happen to me. Like if someone was like pregnant right away after miscarrying. But
Right.
anyway, I want to share some tips on how I conceived if anyone cares. And because someone did DM me being like, "How did you do it?" And I'm just going to say what
Okay.
I did, and I don't know if any of these things worked at all. And I will also point out I was someone that was able to get pregnant relatively quickly the first time, but
Hmm.
I did everything that everybody said to do on Reddit, and I'll just tell you what that is. I got acupuncture the week I was ovulating from like a fertility acupuncturist. I bought
Hmm.
this stuff called pre-seed lube, which you can get on Amazon. It's apparently like a lube that like helps the sperm swim or something like that, and people fucking swear by it. Whatever. Who knows if that's woo-woo or whatever.
Okay.
3, since I had a miscarriage, I've heard that taking baby aspirin can help your chances of implantation. I also had a subchronic hematoma. So anyway, look into that one. But I took baby asprin. And
You had
finally,
it
the
last
days
time,
I
but
was
not this time, right?
not this time. No.
Yeah.
And finally, the last thing is I took Mucinex. I did the whole Mucinex and pre-seed thing the days I had sex. So that's when you
Oh,
take
you
like
did?
I did. Yeah. So it's
Nice.
impossible to say which one worked because the month I tried all of those things is the month I got pregnant. So
Oh, and you hadn't tried them other
that's
months?
no. So it was stupid because well, it wasn't stupid. I just wanted to get
No.
pregnant. I didn't really care what
Yeah.
did it. But if I was actually giving advice and if I was in the business of science, I would have done one thing at a time so I could see if anything actually made a difference. But even if I did do it that way, chances you can just get pregnant for no reason anyway. So
Exactly. And also,
that's just
like,
something
the
I'll share.
first month or two after your miscarriage might not have had good chances anyway. And then maybe the third month is when, like, it goes up again or whatever. Like, there could be
When
also other
things
reasons.
kind of sort
Yeah.
out.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
So
It's not
anyway,
like any of those things are, like, hard to do.
No, and look into them on your own. Those are just things that I stumbled across on my journey, and then I applied them all at the same time, and I did get pregnant. So do what you will with that information. But I also don't like to say that, because if you do all of it and you don't get pregnant, that's not a bad thing either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it could increase your chances. So look into it, everyone who wants to.
Okay.
Just
Great
because I got a bunch
advice.
of DMs recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got a bunch of DMs being like, what did you do to conceive? And I actually did answer all of them, because I was like,
Wanted to
okay, I
help.
did do some
Yeah.
stuff and I do want to help you. So I'm just saying that on the podcast if you care. If you don't, you can go fuck
Keep
yourself.
scrolling.
No. Anything going on in the media this week, Annie? I wouldn't know. I haven't looked at any screens.
uh I'm watching Love is Blind.
Okay, so I have seen everybody talking about that, but as you know, I can't watch that cringe shit. So you can tell me
Yeah.
what the hell's going on with Leo. Who's Leo? I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah. Oh, that seems like ages ago now. Because Love is Blind likes to do these drops. So it was like the first, I don't know, 6
Oh,
episodes
it's
or
like four,
something.
four, and four or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it was 6. And then they added like 2 or 3. So I have one more to
Hmm.
go of this drop. And then I'm not sure when the next one is. Maybe next week. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, it is kind of smart because like it is so bingeable that like it kind of does prolong the conversation a little bit. But yeah, it's a pretty good season. Except this, yeah. So the Leo and Brittany bit. If I mean, if you haven't watched it, then spoiler alert. But I kind of think like if you're gonna watch Love Is Blind, you've watched it. Like I just feel
Yeah.
like you're. It's people either like that show and watch it when it comes out, or aren't interested and just want to hear about it. But yeah, there was this awful man, Leo, who was like, "Oh, girls always want me for my money or whatever," and then he just spent so much of the show talking about how rich he is because both of his parents died and he inherited their art dealing company,
Hmm.
and
Ooh.
so he has a lot of money apparently, and just
Hmm.
talked about it incessantly.
Oh,
Um,
I'm looking at him now. Ew. And she's so pretty.
yeah, she's probably like one of the prettiest girls that's ever been on the show. Um, and I mean, she also was kind of like, oh, I've just been taken care of in all my last relationships. Like, she also clearly was down for someone with money.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then when they met, it was the most like unbearable meeting to watch. Like, it just was so awkward. Like, their kissing was so awkward. And then they
Ew.
meet and they see each other for the first time. And then he proposes. And then they like go and sit down, and when they were going to sit down he was like all over her, like cuddling her in and just like ew, like they just,
Ew.
I know they like got engaged or whatever, but they just met. It was so uncomfortable to watch and it was on for so long, like
Ew.
cringe, like
See, this is why
very
I can't
cringe.
watch this show. I cannot
Yeah,
watch this show. I
and she
actually, I
was
don't
like,
want to hear what they're fucking saying. I just hate this.
okay,
Go on.
well, one thing she said is she was just like, he was like kissing her or whatever a lot, like mwah, mwah, mwah. And then, oh, and that's also what he would
Oh,
do in the pods. He would be like, okay, bye after their conversation. And then he'd go, like through the pods. But anyway, he was doing
Annie.
those short little kisses. And then she, like in person, and then she was like, this is the most awkward moment of my life. And then he was just like,
She said
and
that out
then,
loud?
yeah. And then
Oh,
it went to like a just a title card, and it said like Leo and Brittany were not asked to join the other couples in Cabo because like after you all meet, like you get engaged and then you meet in
mm-hmm.
person and then you go to
Mm-hmm.
Mexico and
Mm-hmm.
you like have a little pre, sort of like a honeymoon but before you get married, and then they also meet all the other couples there, and then that obviously
Mm-hmm.
causes drama. So they went, or they like didn't get asked to go. Apparently, this is what
Why?
Netflix says. And then there
Oh.
was an interview of some Netflix producer being like, "We only wanted to ask couples that really we felt like really had a chance of making it, and we didn't feel that that was going to be the case with them." But I don't know. Everyone like, so that's what's out there, and a lot of people are saying probably maybe it's because he like made her feel so uncomfortable. Like that was so kind of uncomfortable to watch how all over her he was. And
Ew.
my theory is that she was like, went to a producer and was like, I don't like this guy.
I'm
And then they were just kind of like, okay, we're not going to follow you because I have no, like, since when does Netflix reality have a moral compass to be like, we just
yeah.
didn't think they'd actually make it. Okay, half these couples aren't going to make it. Like, this is a
Yeah.
ratchet reality show. Like, this is not ever about love, really. Like some couples have made it, but like I'm sorry. This couple would have been amazing TV and I really don't buy that it was that they made the decision based on like true love. I think they either
Well, good
made the
for the
decision
girl.
because the girl was uncomfortable or something or
Hmm.
they like or she said I don't want to do it. I don't want to go on a vacation with him
Good
and then
for
they made
her.
it seem like they chose or something. That's what I think.
That's
But
good.
um yeah, but I mean it was kind of annoying because they spent so much time on them in the pods. So you were like, "Oh, these
So
are
now
going to
they're
be
just
like
like
lead
they're off the show
they're off the
basically.
show completely." Yeah. And you never saw
I
and the
also
title card said they weren't asked whatever and they like broke up a few weeks later or something. So you're just like, "Oh, okay. Well, we spent a lot of time
oh
on
my
them." But there's another crazy thing happening that I don't actually want to talk about yet because our friend Katie watches this show at a snail's pace. And
does she? Why is she so
yes,
slow? I feel like she's always watching it.
because Kevin doesn't like it, her husband doesn't like it.
Oh.
So she has to watch it like I guess they watch shows together a lot and but then like she has to
Hmm.
find time separate from when they're watching together. Which I mean I have those
Oh.
shows too. Like I watch Housewives like away from Luke. And so
Hmm.
some weeks I'm bad at catching up because I don't find time to like watch not with Luke. So you can
Right.
imagine this week I am caught up.
Oh, I love that for
Um
you.
but yeah, so she posted and it's so funny because she always posts her Love is Blind thoughts in her story and she posted like I love Steven and what's the girl's name? Monica. And I wrote like what episode are you on? Like I hate them. And she was like, "Oh no, really? I think they seem so lovely." And I was like, "Okay, talk to me in like next week or something in a few episodes." And she was like, "Oh my
That's
god,
so
Liz
funny to
said
be
the
so
same
behind.
thing." Yeah, and I'm like, "Yeah, they're
That's so
awful.
funny to be
You'll
so
see."
behind, but insist on live tweeting your
that's
thoughts
what
when you're
that's what I
like a
mean. I'm
week
like, "You're
behind.
gonna get spoiled." So maybe she's watched by now, but I know she will listen to the pod immediately, so I don't want to spoil what happens there
Yes,
and for anyone else.
that is
So
good.
perhaps I'll talk about it again.
Yes, next week. We have another week. Next week, hopefully, Annie and I have been planning to be in person every week. And it's actually crazy that the last week we were in person, I was so much sicker. And I actually think adrenaline just, or like the excitement
Well,
of doing something new.
yeah, and because you already had to go to Joe's family, because the reason Sam was in Niagara that weekend was to tell her in laws. So I
Hmm.
think since you already knew that was something that had to be done that weekend, you were like, okay, at least I'll go
Yeah.
see my friend too. Like if you had been at home, it probably would have been harder to
Oh,
hype it
yeah.
up.
And we're not going anywhere this weekend for Thanksgiving. Like, we're bailing on literally everybody. I was like, Joe, we're staying
Yeah.
home and we'll get a festive special from Swish LA. And as I said that, I
Oh, you're
almost threw
going to the
up. So maybe
condo?
not. No, we're staying at my parents'.
Oh, your parents aren't even doing it?
They're at the cottage.
Oh. And you guys are just
All
staying.
my cousins, yeah, everybody's at the cottage. I can't go to
Yeah.
my condo. All my fucking food
No.
is here.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
can't pack all
Don't
this
and
shit
like
to go there. And also, I
yard
can't
for
go
your
outside
dog.
there.
Yeah,
Yard
exactly.
for me, yard for the
Yard
patient.
yard for you too. But also just like being able to let LV out.
Yeah,
We're
and
supposed to do
LV
our
does love
Thanksgiving
that.
tomorrow, but my brother and sister-in-law and nephew are all sick and they've been like I swear they have COVID or something because they've had this virus that's like they've had for a week and then they got better and then they got worse again. So I don't
Oh
know
my
if they're
God.
coming, but we're cooking a feast and then we might just bring it over to them and then Luke's is on Monday, but I think I'm just gonna stay. here.
Oh my God, I love how much we're just not doing anything we're supposed to do. We're such bad girls.
I
We can't
know,
be
but
going where our husbands are.
no,
Fuck
I don't want to
'em.
schlep. I don't want to do that Toronto to Niagara drive for a little longer.
No, 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 no. Just enjoy yourself at the beach. And maybe next week I'll come for a walk on the beach. Maybe the patient will
Sure,
change
or I will come to
places.
you. I would love that because
Okay.
our episode that we did in person um just was so much better than anything else we've ever done.
Yeah, we've ever done. Okay. Well, if you want to see our episode in person, it's up on YouTube, and it was also our 40th episode, but I was too sick to make a big deal out of that, so oh well.
We'll make a big
For our
deal at
50th,
50.
yeah, 50 will go brazy. Let's get into some
We'll
friggin'
go what?
questions because brazy. That's a thing Tyga says. Let me type it in. Brazy
Also, next
Wiktionary.
time
Oh,
I
it's
see you, we are bumping our bellies together. So just get ready.
The way I've been avoiding that is so fucking brutal.
Is that why you won't record
Shit.
with me in person?
Yeah, I'm scared.
I sent Sam a video actually before she was before she knew she was pregnant, or at least before I knew. And it's this girl I follow and her sister-in-law, and they were pregnant at the same time, like similar distance from each other. And it was a sequence of them bumping their bellies together as they grew, and then they bumped their kids together at the end. It was so cute. And I said, Sam, oh my God, we're doing this when we're pregnant. And she was like, LMAO, dot, dot, dot. Actually, I think you appeased me back then. You were like, "Yeah, totally." And then when she told me she was pregnant, I was like, oh, "We can bump our bellies together." And she was like, "Oh, you actually want to do that?" And I was like, "Yes." Sam. Oh,
I was like,
also
oh,
Sam. Oh, also, I'm having a
what?
boy,
Oh.
which maybe some of you know by now if you follow me on
Mhm.
anything. But finally,
Oh my God, I forgot.
the news is out.
Yes, thank God.
Yes. And
Because
what was I
every
going to say?
episode I would have to edit out me saying, he this, he that.
I
Because I'm
know.
stupid.
I
And
know
it's
you
hard
would
not to
catch
use
it more than
pronouns.
me. It is.
Hmm.
Actually, it was really an exercise in
They,
like
them.
in they them. Like it actually was. I was cuz I my parents didn't know for a really long time because they were in Italy, so other people knew, but I had to remember who to use they them pronouns about, so I had to really or around, so I had to really
Hmm.
think about it. And then it became kind of second nature and I was kind of like,
Hmm.
okay, it does take, for non-binary people, it seems annoying at
Yep.
first to use they them, but you do get the hang
Takes a
of
little
it.
practice.
It
Yeah.
takes little practice, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I'm using he
And right
him
now I'm in Hey, him, tractors,
unless he
men.
tells me otherwise.
I'm in a big they them phase because I don't know what I'm having yet. But I think what you were
Yes.
about
Are
to
you in an
say,
it phase too?
I'm a little bit in an it phase. I'm like, it better be cool. But I
What
I
was I about to say?
I feel like we were about to talk about the gender. Fuck,
Oh yes, yes,
I
that's it.
can't
Thank
watch that
you.
video without crying. Okay, Annie showed me a video that she wanted to do for a gender reveal, and thank God she showed me in person because if I had this reaction over text, it would have come off so bitchy. But since it was in person, it was very organic how immediately I just started laughing. I was like, you cannot post that. Like, that is the cringiest, most millennial crap I've ever seen. And I'm sorry to anybody that's done this, but it's like a flat lay of just a white cake, a white heart-shaped cake, and then this I was gonna say gay music plays, but I won't use gay that way, but just know that's what I
Okay,
mean.
well
Like
no. Oh, I
not
thought you
gay
meant
like
you were gonna say it and cut it out, which I
no.
wish you
I'm
would.
I'm, I'm keeping that
Okay. Let the record
because
show I
that's
wish you would.
it's like I'm trying to figure out what word describes like 2000s gay, like not about gay people, like 2000s the way you use the word gay, like
the
that's
way
just
Hillary
cringe as
Duff
fuck.
taught us not to use it.
Yeah, it's what that video was. It was like just like an overlay of a fucking cake, and then this music plays, and then so slowly,
like
and then the
instrumental
ultrasound
piano music.
with like a fucking like little
Here
like
comes
happy
the
guitar. Stupid. Yeah. And then the ultrasound, by the way, is laid out next to the cake, so it's just a flat lay, and then a man's hand and a woman's hand, so slowly, it's unbelievable. I have to like repost this onto Dollspace and just shame the
Okay,
people
but
that
this
made
was
this.
not the one I showed you. You sent me a worse, slower one.
The one you showed me was still so slow and
It was
so
slow.
dumb. Like, anyway, they cut the cake, and then at the same time they pull it out and you see what color the cake is. They lay it on top, and then that's it. The video ends. They're like, oh, it's a boy, it's a girl, like whatever. It was so bad. I'm like, Annie, thank God you ran this by me, because like if I just saw this and had to pretend to like it, that would be so hard for me. Like, I would never tell you. I could never tell you. I could never be like, what the fuck was this? It's like your child, you're happy. But like, thank God you told me first.
I think you could have told me. I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do for a gender reveal. Like,
The funniest
whatever.
part is that you were like, I have to spend even more money on a cake now. I'm like, don't, please.
And then I showed it to her, and then like immediately after I saw her reaction, I was like, oh my God. It was like I came to, and I was like, Sam, oh no. Like, I'm so glad I'm so glad we talked about this. Like, what am I thinking?
It happens to all of us though. Like, I do not blame you. Like, it's scary how quick we actually talked about this after. I'm like, it is actually
Yes.
scary how shit you think is so cringe just turns into like, oh, okay, so how am I gonna do that? Like, you turn into like a brainwashed Stepford freak.
This
like,
reaction
weird.
is coming from a girl who, when she got a dog, went to HomeSense and bought a sign for Christmas that said, "Here comes Santa Paws."
every year that thing scares the shit out of me. I take out my Christmas box, and it's like I see like ghost face in there. Like, it comes out, I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I was 29 when I bought that, okay? Like, I'm 32 now. I was 29 when I bought that sign, and it wasn't from HomeSense. It was from Dollarama.
Well, you were
so
still
don't
a
worry.
millennial, honey.
I was a millennial, but I was not as old as I am now. And like, I feel like now I'm more sane than I was when I got that dog. But like, cute shit will brainwash you. That's what it is. Because like, when I have my baby and the baby's cute, the baby is going to get some dumb photo shoot in a pumpkin with the dog.
Yes.
But,
and I think
sorry.
that's always welcome. I think you get brainwashed by aesthetic things on TikTok and being like, oh, this is the way. Like, I feel like especially if you, like, I haven't found my way on TikTok yet of like what the vibe of my content is. So I think I'm also always looking, like, I follow people and then I'm like, oh, I like that. That's kind of my vibe. That's whatever. And sometimes you really need your friend who knows you to be like, sorry, what? Don't do that.
This can't
and
be
then
your
I was
vibe,
just like,
please.
Okay, I'm going to post a compilation. Perfect. Done.
That was the right call. The compilation was fun to watch. A lot of reactions, a good vibe, and not lame as hell. If you posted that cake thing, I actually don't know what I would have done. I would have had to like talk shit about you to Joe, and I hate doing that. I never do it. You don't give me reason to.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
It's a sad day when I have to like confide in Joe over you. Usually it's the other way around.
Just don't even find out the gender so you don't have to think about this.
I honestly don't think I can. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to know. I'm scared of who I'll become.
All right, become a boy mom like me.
Boy mama, happy mama, crunchy mama.
Boy mama.
You got this, mama.
Okay, I am going to say right here and now, and I want y'all to hold me to this, okay? Dollspace community. Okay. Do not let me be a boy mom. If you catch me... Those... Oh, well, I will, just by the fact that I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to have a son. But that is not the same as being a boy mom. I want you guys to hold me accountable. If you ever
Okay.
catch me being like leaning into I'm such a boy mom or like
Okay.
boy mom content, I
Deal.
and I want to be clear. I'm gonna post about my son. I I'm gonna maybe make reference to his gender here and there, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. There's a line between
You're not going to post
having
something
a
that's
kid who's
like,
a son and being a boy mama.
yeah, yeah. Boy mama, like you're not going to post anything about like how no girl will ever love him like you can or
No, I
anything
mean I
like
think
that.
that privately, but I would never.
Utter it publicly, and you're not going to do a photo shoot with him when he's like football captain of like you being a cheerleader. Have you seen those?
I really
They're
sincerely
crazy.
hope not. No, I don't.
Yeah,
I
okay.
actually also don't think that. I hope he finds a girl that loves him or a boy, but
Yep.
I have had thoughts of like, oh no, when he grows up. Like I am already sad about losing him later in life. But I would be about a girl
Yeah,
too. I think just
I was just
boys,
going to
you're like,
say at
oh.
least with a boy, you're kind of like boys like I'm scared to have a girl and I very well might be having one of those and I'm like girls are just so fucked. Like girls are more likely to date crazy like I don't know, like or maybe not.
I
Maybe I
don't
just made
know.
that up.
Yeah, not
Yeah, boys can date
necessarily.
crazy bitches.
Yeah, I think I just have to be a really nice, good mom to him so he likes good, nice girls or boys.
Yes, that is the right thing to do. And make Luke be a really nice dad. Make him
Make him, okay? Good
so that
idea.
he likes nice boys too.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, more to come on this. But yeah, I do want just because Sam Sam really like uh broke me out of that strange millennial gender reveal days that I was in. So I need you to do that for me too if I'm being boy momish.
And if anybody's worried they're in a strange millennial days, you can write into Dollspace and we will set you the fuck straight.
Yeah, you can send us the
Happily.
content and we'll tell you if it's and nothing wrong with being a millennial. I am a proud millennial. They're
Nothing wrong
chuggy
with
it
it.
up. I am chuggy in a lot of ways, but sometimes you're gonna get
Sometimes it's
chirped in the
really not.
in a group chat. And if you'd like to know,
Sometimes,
we'll help
yeah,
you.
and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's out of left field. Like you're chuggy to a degree. I think the video you showed me was so chuggy it was like nauseating. And that's coming from the most nauseous bitch there is.
Okay, so that's not saying
I
that much.
So yeah, maybe it was fine. I don't know.
Oh. Okay,
Aw.
maybe I'll buy a cake.
Yeah, think about it. Maybe for the next one you can lean into that a little more. If you start now, if you start being a loser now, by the next baby you can do that like in earnest. But this baby, you were still too cool for that.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Okay. You're right.
So, yeah.
Maybe for the
So
third
anyway,
baby.
for the third baby. Okay, here's a freaking
Okay.
question from someone. And I can't remember if I read this one. I don't think I did. The subject is "This bitch is obsessed with me," right? Hi, Sam and Annie. What the fuck are you doing with your mic? That's so loud.
So sorry. Is it loud?
No, it's okay. You're just moving it
Wait,
around.
wait, wait. I
Okay.
know. I was. Okay, go.
Oh, you know? Okay.
Well,
Hi,
I
Sam
couldn't
and
hear
Annie.
it, but I was moving a lot. I'll
Okay,
shut
I
up.
can hear you. Okay. 21-year-old from Montreal. Oh, she's laughing. Wait, let me
Bonjour.
look back at you. I don't even know what I'm asking. I just want to share and hear what you think. I dated my ex for a few months before it ended mutually. In brackets, I basically ended it. I am a sweetheart, truly, but it didn't work because I found he didn't want any of the responsibilities of having a girlfriend and I was always super vocal about it. And sometimes I was being a bitch. Fast forward, he goes on 1 or 2 dates with this girl I went to high school with who has already dated one of my exes in the past. This isn't some St. Catharines small town bullshit. There are so many people she could date. He ghosted her. I love it. He ghosted her or
Uh-oh.
whatever, but I don't give a shit. He ghosted her or whatever. I don't care. I don't know. But now she's going around telling people that I made him emotionally unavailable and not ready for another relationship. Recently, I started seeing him again and I sort of like him bad. So I think that's important to know. I just hate her for saying those things about me. And don't ask how I know, but her mom is besties with my bestie's mom. So one time my bestie heard them in the fucking kitchen talking about me. Hello? Like, you went on 2 dates with my boyfriend. Sorry, he wasn't interested. She just makes my blood boil. I want so bad to not care, but I run into her a lot. How? Our university is huge. Anyway, kisses. Okay. I see why that's annoying. My advice is you simply have to not give a shit about dumb girls that blow things up
And are obsessed with you.
and are obsessed with you. Yeah. Like, literally, who cares? Like, this bitch dated your boyfriend, and to make herself sleep at night, she had to say that you made him emotionally unavailable. Okay, cool. What do you care? Let her say whatever the hell she wants. Be kind. I never say the word kind. Be nice to her on campus if you run into her, whatever. But like, don't stress about some chick that you don't even have to hang out with. Who cares that her mom and your bestie's mom were talking shit about you in the kitchen? That's actually just good tea that you can talk shit about with your friends. So who
Also,
gives a shit?
making
You win.
someone emotionally unavailable
Is it a
isn't
thing?
really a diss. That means like he's so hung up on you still and like crushed that you guys aren't together that he's not he can't be emotionally available to another woman. That's not like something you did, like that's not like a toxic trait. That's just like, oh, you mean he didn't want to break up with me and date someone else? That like emotionally unavailable
Yeah,
means
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that. It
That's not an
means
insult
I'm
to you.
not ready to move on to someone else. So it's actually
Yeah.
like such a compliment.
Yeah, basically she was just saying like, "Oh, he's not over her."
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it's like
That's
that's
what you
so
wanted to spread the word about? Cool.
right. Yeah, like
Like, that's
he
weird.
couldn't date me cuz he's not over his last girlfriend. That's not something you did. If anything, that makes you look sick.
Yeah, that's not an insult at all, actually. Good call, Annie. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking more about like, who cares? My advice is who cares, and Annie's advice is if you must care, know like that's a nice thing to say almost.
Well, I would love that someone was like thinking about me this much.
Yeah, I would
Like,
too.
don't you? I love when, I don't know, like an ex is obsessed, like an ex's new girlfriend is obsessed with you. Like, it's like we were talking about what's her face, Stu's
Who?
girlfriend,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
wife,
yeah. Yes.
Sam's first boyfriend, his
Hmm.
wife now.
Hmm.
Sam, or I don't know where we were talking about this on the pod, but you've definitely talked about
Yeah,
it
we
on
were talking
TikTok where
about how
you've
she blocked me on
stalked her
everything.
for years. Yeah. And you're like, I
Yeah.
am obsessed with you. Like you're a character in my life. Like literally no harm done, no shade. I am. Oh yeah, we were talking about it because you saw her bachelorette party on her sister's page, and you're just like,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
interested in you.
Yes. No hate. No hate. But
Wait,
like,
have you
also, don't
watched?
you
Sorry, go on.
what? No, I was just gonna say, don't you like love that your husband's ex-girlfriend is like still
It's
creeping? Like,
amazing.
that's goals, babe. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
You're
Have
talking
you
I'm talking
watched
about you.
the
That's goals.
Adam Brody and Kristen Bell show
No,
on
and everybody
Netflix?
loves it. Have you watched
Yeah, it
it?
was cute. Yeah. It was really cute. It was like a easy watch. I mean, Adam Brody
Mm-hmm.
is perfection. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was cute. It got a season two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there is a part in it that is so true. Adam Brody, in like the first or second episode, he and his girlfriend break up, and
Mm-hmm.
then he starts dating Kristen Bell, obviously. And
Mm-hmm.
Kristen Bell becomes obsessed with finding out everything about his ex. And his
Mm-hmm.
ex also is like obsessed with finding out about his new girlfriend. And when they finally
Mm-hmm.
meet, like later, this isn't a spoiler, this is just like something that happens
Mm-hmm.
later in the show when they finally meet. At the end, the Kristen Bell, the new girlfriend, says to the ex, like, I'm obsessed with you. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with you. And she's like, I've been kind of obsessed with you too. And they both
Aw.
admitted that they have like been so curious about the other one, and like kind of just putting them on this pedestal and trying to find out
Yeah.
information about them. And I'm like, that's so true. It kind of doesn't matter what the dynamic is, because Kristen Bell is in the better dynamic in that she's dating
Yeah.
this chick's boyfriend, but she still is obsessed with knowing everything about his ex because she feels insecure or
Yes.
whatever. And then the ex obviously is obsessed with finding out everything about Kristen Bell. But
Hmm.
really, it's just their own insecurity. But I'm sure the ex loved hearing that Kristen Bell was obsessed with her.
Definitely. And you know what? Unrelated, I just want to say the only reason I haven't watched that show is that show, something happens to me that happens with a lot of movies where the celebrities are in such a famous coupling that I
Yeah.
don't believe their love story. You know what I mean? Like she is
Well,
so with Dax
yeah.
Shepard that I'm just like, this is not believable to me,
That's even
unfortunately.
funnier coming from you, because I actually listen to Armchair Expert religiously. So like if anyone would
Hmm.
really know about the Dax and Kristen thing, it'd be
They
me.
they are
I
just
get it.
everywhere. They're like Blake and Ryan. Like they're just fucking everywhere. Like they're such a
Yeah.
couple that does things together and they're always talking about each other and their whole thing is that they're together. Like I'm like I can't
And I
remove
also
that.
listened to them on a pod, or listened to Adam and Kristen on a podcast, and they're such friends. Like it's such a
Yeah.
platonic vibe that even though they have good chemistry acting wise, like I
Mhm.
believe them, nothing wrong there. I like
Mhm.
know that they're such good friends that I also kind of, honestly, I do think Adam, she's a great actress, but I can see her work in this show.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
I do think Adam Brody's better than her. She is a
Yeah.
little, she can be a little, to me, off-putting
Mhm.
in some scenes, but
Yes.
like it works, it totally works. But I kind of, when I asked you if you watched it, I kind of was like, I feel like you wouldn't like this show.
Yeah. I don't know. I like
It just doesn't
couldn't I
really.
saw the trailer for it and I'm just like I don't want to see those two pretend that they're a couple. I'm not going to believe it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
That's
that
how I
is
feel.
kind of the central
That's the
thing of the
theme.
show. Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of the main thing. The other thing is
That's
that
the
they're
whole thing.
podcasters. She and her sister have a
Yes. I
Dollspace
saw that in the
esque
trailer.
podcast.
Ah. Didn't you have a podcast in one of your great movies, or did I make that up?
Love Hacks, one of my great movies that you
Oh,
watched. And my name was Sam, the podcaster.
literally how nauseous I felt the other day. Why did we compare it to Love Hacks? I was like, I'm so nauseous. I'm like the transition scenes in Love Hacks because they're
I
so
forget
fucking weird
because you said I'm
and
like dizzy
dizzying.
or something. I forget. It's too niche of a joke. You had to watch Love Hacks with us
Whatever.
to
Someone watch
understand.
Love Hacks and then write in. Okay, I think we nailed that question.
Okay.
With examples and everything. We have so many questions that I want to just like
Yeah.
fucking
Rapid
keep
fire.
going. Yeah.
Okay.
The crippling weight of nostalgia haunts me. Same.
Did you write in?
Hi, lovelies. Yeah, it was me. Hi, lovelies. With all the baby excitement in the last few weeks for you two, I was wondering if you could share some of your expertise on a somewhat related problem. I am a 27 female and have been with my boyfriend, 28 male, for almost 6 years now, and things have been consistently great. We both have similar hobbies, interests, goals, political views, careers, you name it. We've been through hard times like we were doing long distance during the pandemic to navigating living together in our first apartment, all without issue. A couple of weeks ago, he mentions going to pick out an engagement ring or when he wants to get engaged or something to that effect, even though I'd sort of been ribbing him with my friends and looking up rings online in my spare time prior to this. As soon as it became real, I started freaking out. It's nothing to do with him or the relationship. This wave of existentialism has hit me like a ton of bricks. How am I supposed to get married when I'm just a widow 27-year-old teenage girl? How am I supposed to have and raise a baby when I'm only a baby myself? Does everyone feel like this? Yes.
Mm.
I've navigated big changes in my life before with little to no issue, like finishing high school and moving out, finishing college, getting a job, working my way through my career at an increasingly senior level, and I've never felt like this. Does anyone ever feel ready? Do I just have to roll with the punches? I'm almost haunted by the fact that my young, carefree, no real responsibility time in my life is coming to an end and there's nothing I can do about it and no way I can get it back once it's gone. Also, I've recently developed a fear of death and dying and getting old, but also dying in a really tragic way before I get a chance to get old, which is probably related and also appeared out of nowhere. I'm excited for the next stage in my life and I do want to get married and have kids and I think I found the perfect man to have it all with, but why am I still so scared? Wow. Did I write in? Did I black out and write that? Yes. I relate to all of that so hectically. And as a matter of fact, I I remember before I got married, um, not having cold feet about marriage. Like there was no question in my mind that like Joe was the person that I'm gonna marry. But I did definitely have cold feet about like what, I'm married? Like,
That's just
ew. And
it.
like I definitely, yeah, and I definitely felt the same way for certainly the first time I was pregnant. I was like straight up rattled the first time I got pregnant. I was like, what the hell? Like, honestly, I think the only reason I'm so chill this pregnancy is because I've done it once before, because I was so rattled when I first got pregnant. Like, even you, when you first got pregnant, it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
it's a
I
trip.
was scared. Yeah, like I was also wanting it and trying essentially, and yeah, it's scary. Well, and it is kind of like we don't like to feel trapped. So it is kind of,
Hmm.
I mean, pregnancy is a trapped feeling. Like
That is
it
a
is
trapped feeling.
even when you're having a good time. Like I have probably one of the best types of pregnancies you could have. And
Hmm.
even I, like once a day, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could like hang up my pregnant body over on that hanger
Hook.
and go and like sit in the shower as me. Like I'd also
Yeah.
just feel, and this is something I want, and I'm generally happy 98% of the time, but
Hmm.
there are just these times where like you try to conceptualize how crazy it is what you're doing, like also the inevitability of like this will come out and I have no idea
Yeah.
how or when or what's going to happen when it does. Like that, if you
So
think too
alien.
hard about that, it is so scary. Like you are
Yeah.
on a train that is
Train.
in motion. So pregnancy is
The
probably
train
like
has left
the
the station.
pinnacle of this. Like wedding you can
Yes,
always get out of. Um
you can. And you can always get
but
divorced. In fact, 53% of people do. It's over 50 now.
yeah, but
So,
I do think the wedding one is really normal too, just because if it's something you've thought about in your life, you're like, who, like, it's fun to think, oh, who's this going to be and what's my wedding going to be like? There is an element, my wedding was perfect and exactly what I wanted, but there still was an element of like, that was it? Okay, I guess that
yeah,
was my wedding. Like, it's never going
yeah.
to live up to how crazy it is in your head, I guess. And I just think if you
Or
are
alternatively, you
happy with your
can't get
partner,
that.
yeah,
Sorry. No, I was just going to say you can't get that like whimsical, like what's going to happen. Like that's what people miss, I feel. And
yeah.
like, I just think like that. And I think that's a totally normal thing to like miss being at a point in your life where you have no idea what's going to happen and who it's going to be with and what like getting married. I understand like you found the perfect guy, you want to marry him, so you're like kind of coming to terms with the fact that this is now probably going to be my future, versus when you first start dating someone you don't really think about that, but now it's like, oh, he is perfect and he does want to marry me and we do want kids, I guess we're actually doing that. Whereas before you
Yeah.
have so much time to be like, well, you never know, even though you don't want to break up and whatever. It's just like that
And that's
security
always a
blanket
nice
of
feeling
time.
to be like you never know when it's in your control. Then you never
Yeah.
know sucks when you want to know. But I just
Yes.
think yeah, the wedding thing, I think you just also realize it's not that different after, because obviously it's such a built up moment and it is crazy when you try to
Yeah.
think like, oh my god, I'm getting legally bound to this person and I'm going to change my name if
Hmm.
you're going to do that or whatever. Like it is crazy when you try to conceptualize it, but if you're just like, oh, I don't want to break up with this guy and I want to just see him every day, that's like that's what you're signing up for. Like I want to see him every
Yeah.
day until I don't. Like it's the
Yes.
same.
And like, yeah, exactly. Getting married is the exact same. And once the train is in motion, it becomes more, oh, a mailman? How come my
Oh,
dog's not barking? Sorry. Let me
she's
just go
sleeping.
check on my dog. She's probably sleeping, but like, fucking look alive. Where are you?
Okay, I'll say something that I was going to say while you do that. Oh, you're bringing your
Oh,
mic.
there you are.
Oh,
No, I was
good.
just checking to see if
I
she
was
was
going to
inside the
say,
house or outside.
when you were saying like the train has left the station or whatever with like once you start planning a wedding and everything, I
No,
have
I meant it with
never.
pregnancy.
Oh, well, that train. Oh, yeah. That
That
train for
train
sure.
is fucking horrifying.
But what I was just going to say about wedding is I've never sympathized with Mr. Big in the Sex and the City movie before get like
Hmm.
when I was actually planning a wedding, and it truly does get bigger than big. Like it doesn't
Yes.
always have to, but like there are moments where you're like, "Oh my god, this is getting out of hand. This is too much. What's all this for? Whatever." And I feel like
Yeah.
it can put a lot of pressure. I mean, it like our brains have to protect ourselves from these existential thoughts all the time, or else you would just like combust or not
Oh
be
my
able to
God.
do
Yeah.
anything. Like, okay, with this renovation and with this baby on the way, kind of like happening, coming to a conclusion around the same time, um, it's so hard for me to conceptualize that this is like a house I'm actually going to live in again, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
holding a baby that's actually in my stomach. Like we talk about these things every day. Like I'm aware
Hmm.
logically that they're happening, but
Hmm.
I actually can't comprehend that like this
No.
kitchen I'm like doing little tweaks to all the time and looking at drawings of and stuff, and like this baby I'm shopping for, like these are things that are
Hmm.
actually happening in a few months, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't believe it. So I just think like
Yeah.
your brain lets you have those moments sometimes where it all comes rushing in, but for the most part you just have to
For the
like
most part,
not think about it too much.
once it's in motion, I feel like it's better than thinking about it. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Like once it's like your wedding date, like whatever. Obviously leading up to your wedding, it's like, whoa, this is kind of fucking crazy, but you're so busy. And then like after your wedding, you don't care about that at
The
all.
next
You're
day
like,
it's
I do
immediately
not.
okay.
Yeah, the next day you're like, I actually don't care about any thought that I had yesterday. And
Yes.
then when you get pregnant, that is a fucking trip. But like it's also kind of the same, you come to the same conclusion in the end, which is like, yeah, this is just what I was gonna do, I guess. But also I get like the question, like, is anyone ready? In my experience, no. I think everybody is just like, what the fuck? And I think the idea of being ready for any point of adulthood is a full-blown myth. But I also think that we romanticize and glamorize like our younger years when we didn't want them to continue that way anyway. So it's kind of like in the past is a good place for those to be. Like I had a thought the other day. Oh my God, Joe and I were talking about this morning, but we were talking about the day after our 30th birthday. Okay, this is 30th birthday, and we weren't engaged or married. And that morning we had a party here, and the next morning we woke up and we were so hungover, and I called a cleaning lady to come here because I was like, I know I don't want to clean this, and it was at my parents' house. And the next morning we woke up on the patio and we were just out there, and it was covered in like pizza and like just like shit fucking everywhere. And this was the morning that I think I told you this story on the podcast. This was the morning where he said something to me and I responded hello because I didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on. And like he brought that memory up to me and I was like, oh my God. Like, cause I obviously sometimes think like about before I was pregnant or whatever, before we were married or before I even met Joe. I think about those times sometimes fondly, but often like those were good times and they should stay right where they are. Like, I do not want to be like, the actual thought I was thinking of was when I lived with one of my roommates. And I remember one night she grabbed my phone. We were at a bar and we got home. And at like 3 in the morning, she saw that some guy texted me and I was in the bathroom. And when I came out, she goes, Nick wants to come over. And I told him to just come right over. And I had to like, and that was like a funny joke, like because I was like 24. I'm like, that's hilarious that you invited this guy over without fucking asking me. And we were like dying laughing because I had like a bush, so I had to like go to the sink and like fucking shave and like whatever, and it was just like so chaotic and so funny. And I think about that now and I'm like, um, if someone did that to me now, it would be on site. Like we would have like so fun and free 20s, whatever, like fond memory, keep it over there. Like if someone pulled
Yeah.
that crap on me now being like, just invited this guy over, fuck him, like that wouldn't be funny. I'd be like, are you on crack? Lock the doors, call the police, get out of my house.
And also fun because of how short-lived the time is. Like if I mean, if you want to get married and have kids, I'm saying like if you don't want to do that, fine. But if since that you're saying that this is something that you want, it seems like it's yes, like you're never going to be ready. This is something we have wanted and we still felt that way.
Definitely. And as for your fear of death, girl, I don't know. I've gone through many waves of this fear of death
Me too.
that have consumed me
But mostly about
entirely, and
other people
then
dying is what I'm
yeah,
scared of.
sometimes about other people. And also the wedding brought up a severe, like when you were saying like dying tragically and stuff, I'm like, "Oh my God,
Right.
like someone's going to die tragically before my wedding." Like just like stupid, like because obviously that's like so bad that it
Yeah.
makes your brain think that. Like, "Oh my God,
Oh,
like someone's just
also what I was going to say about like you being like, "Oh, but I'm just a baby. Like how am I supposed to have a kid?" Like yes, everyone feels that way. Like I think it's insane that I'm going to be someone's mom. Like I
yeah.
feel so young, and this is why it's just kind of a perspective thing because um Katrina Campo
Yeah.
who I went to elementary school with, and Sam, how do you know her from high school
No, I just know her
times?
from like partying.
Around. Okay.
I
Well,
know
I
her
went to
from
elementary school with her,
around.
so I've known her since I was little, and this is just a classic case of us saying some random person's name that we know. But she had a baby last week, and I've been like
Mm.
messaging her and whatever, and like seeing her post pictures and stuff, and my brain went, "Oh my God, I can't believe Katrina Campo is a mom, like has a baby." Like I can't believe
Yeah.
like I was thinking about how crazy it is. Like I've known her her whole life and now she just has a baby. Like that's so crazy. She's so grown up. And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm that to someone too." Like it's so funny that I
Yeah.
can like look at her as if that's like not something I'm currently doing as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
you will always think of you. I mean, my parents are 73 and my mom's like, "I think I'm 25." And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, "What the hell?" And like your so your perspective is like never gonna line up with reality because also you grow up thinking that parents like have all of their shit together and like know everything, and then you as you get older and you think of like when you think of your parents when they had you, they were still in their 20s, Sam, like
Yeah.
what the
My parents
hell.
were like 24 and 27. Pardon? Okay.
Like that's and you thought they were adults.
Yeah.
So I just
Like
like I don't think they were ready.
false.
They figured it out and they were great parents and it's just
Yeah. And
yeah.
back then, I feel like they had the benefit of like no one thought that much about this shit because it's just like, okay, you're married. It's time. Like they were Greek. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody's having kids after you get, it's like time to get fucking pregnant. Like go for it. It's like you didn't really have that luxury of being like, well, couldn't I just like explore my career or something? Like my mom was, it was just like, no, get pregnant.
Yeah.
But,
Well, yeah,
and
and
in a way,
because
that's
you
nice.
already were like in those days it seemed like you were so old when you were 30.
Oh my God. Yeah, definitely. I even feel like that now because I'm brainwashed by the fact that my parents were so young. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm fucking old to be having kids. And Annie is the
Exactly.
youngest person to ever have children.
I feel young cuz my mom still wouldn't have
Yeah.
had me for 9 years.
Crazy. So crazy. That's
So
wild.
there you go.
Anyway, the fear of death thing, I recommend something that really brings me peace. But I'm someone that can comprehend, like, I'm someone that is open to whatever the hell happens after you die. I'm open to anything, basically. I would watch Tyler Henry Medium. He really hits some nails on the head for some people. If you want a little bit of faith that maybe there's an afterlife, tune into Tyler Henry Medium on Netflix. This was a paid ad. Okay.
Well, one thing that helped me when uh when I was in therapy because I was scared of my parents dying all the time, but you can apply this to yourself too, I think. My therapist was it's so like simple, but she was literally like I think I've even said this before. Like your parents would be so mad that you like spent when they were alive thinking about them dying. Like what a waste of
Yeah.
alive time. So you kind of just have to tell yourself that too. You're like, okay, well I am going to die, hopefully not tragically, but We never know. But like, literally, why waste your alive time worrying about your dead time? Like, that is going to come.
Yeah.
So just like, what a waste of your living time. And if there is an afterlife and you're able to comprehend and reflect on your living time, then you're really going to be mad at yourself.
Then you're going to be like, wow, this was
Was that
not the
good advice?
point. Yeah, I think that was good advice. That wasn't like, yeah, for sure. If you are able to reflect on your living time, your dead self is going to be like, whoa, I spent a lot of time
Also,
not. And you know what? You won't reach nirvana. If you are a Buddhist, you're going to have to come back again because you didn't get it.
oh, yeah, maybe that's what she
Mm,
wants. Also, what I've heard is that having kids makes you way less in your own head. Like, if you have those
yeah.
tendencies, I've heard from so many people who are afraid of flying that having
Hmm.
kids like cures that, because you are literally too busy on a flight to care about that when you have like when you're flying with your kids.
Yeah. And I
And like,
also
same
feel like
thing.
that.
And what with your
Oh, I was just going to
pregnancy?
say, I also feel like that when someone has a panic attack, it's the number one way to get me out of a panic attack. I'm like,
Right.
oh, you have a problem? Like,
Well,
that's
and it's also
way better
kind
for me.
of your fear of nausea and vomiting is like, you kind of can't care
Sorry.
about that.
Sorry. LV just came in. Guys, my dog is a fucking
Say
joker.
something.
She
You're just
just
making faces.
making faces at her because she keeps doing little spins, like wagging her tail and doing little spins, like, get up, bitch. And I'm like, oh, are
Oh,
you
she's
trying to
feeling
throw down with
playful.
me? You're trying to throw down with your mama? She's busy. Mommy's working, not for pay.
Mommy's working,
Anyway,
honey. Okay.
honey.
Take something
Anyway,
from that, what you will.
yeah, do something with that. That was a fucking beautiful long thing we said. This question I read actually when it came in. And I love it. So let's talk about this. I love this
Okay.
question. Subject: my wife is ruining her face. I actually don't know where else to turn. My sister loves your podcast, so I thought I'd reach out for advice because I don't think my wife listens. My
Oh
wife
my
is ruining
God.
her face with filler and Botox. It started out okay, a little Botox here and there that I honestly didn't even notice, but her face lady seems to have convinced her to try all these other things, and she's been progressively tweaking her face to the point I'm losing attraction. I love her as she was. She's starting to look like a cartoon. I didn't marry Jessica Rabbit, and I'm worried I'll lose all attraction to her. I'm also scared to have a kid because I don't want our daughter to grow up thinking this is normal or okay. I feel like if I bring it up, she will be devastated or say I don't get it because I'm a man. Help.
Ooh,
Whoa.
that's tough.
See, when I read that at first, I was like, I wonder if that's Katie, because that is something Katie would want to talk about. And the reason I thought maybe it was Katie is because the email is
True.
fillerup@gmail.com. But
I think you're
it, I
right.
don't I don't care if it's Katie. I do want to actually talk about this because it might
And if
not
it's
be.
not, then I love that a straight man
A straight
is
man is saying fill
asking
her
us for
up.
advice.
I mean, if it is Katie, that's a very elaborate setup. Like my wife's sister listens to this podcast. Interesting.
And I
I don't
don't
know if
think
she
my
has that
wife
much of an
listens.
imagination.
How did that come up then?
I don't know. Should I text her right now and be like, is this you, bitch? Anyway, it doesn't matter because I do want
No,
to.
let's talk about it.
Okay, hold on. I have to scratch my head.
Okay.
Okay. Poof.
I'm trying
So
to think about how I would react. I do think I'd want my
if
husband to
someone's.
tell me.
The thing is, it is such a thing that you should know when you go to get work done that people become blind to what is happening to their face.
Yes.
Like, you just have to know that before you go into it. Like, get Botox, get filler, do whatever. But, like, don't but like understand that like you need someone else to check in because like you become whatever. And I have friends that have filler that have been like, I fucking lost it for a while there. And they know it.
Yeah. Sorry, is this loud?
I have
I need to reposition.
Oh, okay. Okay, Busto. Tubs.
Okay. You're en route, bitch.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to be a real Tubbs like you with my full fat dairy addiction, which I'm already on, drinking milk every day. Num num num.
Good.
Yeah. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah. So and honestly, I have friends that have gotten like Botox and filler that I have said something to, like
Oh, okay,
nicely.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have done that. I've been like, you know
And
what?
did it go well?
Or yeah, because I think they already saw it kind of too. But I said it kind
Mm-hmm.
of in retrospect. I was like, don't get any more filler in this area or whatever, because the last time I saw you, it was like wonky. And they were like,
Mm.
yeah, agreed. So, and then they like sometimes people just need to check in with that. And it's not your fault if you like can't see what your face looks like. That's so normal for you to you adjust to your new reality. And then that's why people keep getting bigger lips. Like they're not thinking their
Yes.
lips are small. It's like their new lips are now small lips. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like everything gets all fucking distorted.
Like me when I
So
took
I
my
don't think,
extensions out.
no, you looked hideous when you did that.
I mean, my hair was thin.
No, no, Annie, you're pretty no matter what you do because you're the prettiest girl in the world. And your
Well, it's
son is
okay
going to have
now.
blue little eyes. Yeah,
You
it's
think?
totally okay now. I think your son is going to have blue little eyes and be a little fucking angel with little blue eyes and freckles. But anyway, I digress. Um,
Yeah, I
what?
do think you can say. I think especially you can phrase it into like, "Oh, I liked how your face was before. I liked it better
Yeah, or you can.
before."
I feel like don't say that.
Oh, I liked it better before.
Why are you talking like sadness from inside out? Oh, Eeyore. I think what you
Oh.
say is the next time she's going, I would just say, can we pump the brakes on that a bit? Because I'm not sure if you can tell, but I think your face is starting to get a
It's looking
little,
different.
it's looking like a little different and not in a more attractive way. And I think maybe you're losing sight of how much is there. Like I think you maybe can't tell how much is there.
Right.
Like I would say if someone said that to me, I'd be like, "Oh shit."
Me too.
Like if I was getting filler all the time and someone was like, "I feel like you just have to like take 5 and like pay attention because you're starting to look different and I don't think it's the way you want to look."
Yeah. I think
And
that's fair to say.
I totally think it's fair to say because people get filler blind. Like someone has to say something and alternatively, I don't know,
And if it
like
can't be your
it's so annoying
partner
because
or
it
like
is a
someone that
business.
loves you, then like who can say that
Mhm.
to you? Like I just feel like
So
you
get the
can't be
sister
scared
involved
to say
maybe.
something. Yeah.
And I think that's totally normal for I think that's totally fair. Like if your significant other is getting like, you know, surgery that completely changes the way they look without any regard for what you might think of it. I mean, yeah, like one could argue like I'm a feminist, I can do whatever I want to keep up with like female beauty standards or whatever, but like you could also argue like, well, I married you for your personality, but also obviously because of a level of attraction. Like
Yeah. And like who are you doing this for? I would also wonder. Like
I
why?
mean, often people are doing it for themselves, which I think is good. But at the same time, like if you're going so far that your significant other is like mentioning to you, like, I think this is going a little too far, that would make me take pause. I'd be like, oh, shit, I don't want you to not like how I look. And I also want to
Yeah.
like how I look, but maybe I can't tell how I look. Like people have to have some fucking self reflection if you're
Yes.
going to get work done on your face. Like you have to be able to take it. Like if you're going to get like, like what if you get fucking crazy duck lips? Like someone should be able to tell you if your lips look fucking nuts. And it's not going to be
And
your esthetician because they're getting paid. So
right.
someone
And
has
they
an
probably have
unbiased
them too.
entity. Exactly. You're looking at them. And I will just say when I used to go to beauty bar to get hydrofacials, all the estheticians there, and it's because I wasn't in a Botox filler phase. Well, I still am not. I haven't gotten it, but like it wasn't as big back then. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like a thing where like everybody would go get that. I remember thinking every girl that works at beauty bar looks fucking botched. And like that's concerning. And maybe if you had huge lips, you wouldn't look at them and think they were botched, but they looked like both of them, both the girls that I went to see, they were really nice, but they both looked crazy. And I'm like, this is a bad ad for the beauty bar.
Yeah, I would
Because
not
like I'm looking
trust
at your face being
someone
like,
who looked like
what?
that. My
Yeah.
doctor
It,
does it for me.
mm-hmm,
And she is like the most beautiful older woman, like in her mid 60s, mid to late 60s, and she's like stunningly gorgeous. And you can tell, like, okay, obviously you must have Botox somewhere because, like,
mm-hmm,
your skin looks so good, but she does not look, you would never be able to tell. And I'm like, this is the exact person who I want working on
mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Not like a
Yeah,
20
I
year old
think
that
it's
looks
huge.
40.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I think it's like good to get like a medical esthetician to do Botox because like so many people can just be like certified to do Botox now and like it's a side hustle for a lot of girls. And I don't know. You just have to look at the work and see if you like it. But in terms of like talking to your wife, I think it's completely reasonable to have a conversation with someone if they're making changes to their appearance that are that's going too far. Like here's an
Yeah.
example, Annie. Are you
Mm-hmm.
thinking about what I'm thinking about?
I
Do you
don't
remember when your
know.
boyfriend
Oh.
Yeah,
How are we going to talk about this?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to. Because this is a good thing to say. It was a permanent thing that was pretty crazy. Say.
Oh
I
no.
have to pee so bad, but I can't leave because I need to hear this because it's so funny, even though I know the whole story.
If this is Katie's question, she's going to love that this is my answer because she makes me tell this story biannually.
Because this story
Okay.
is so
Okay.
funny.
No identifiers. Okay,
Absolutely
Sam?
not. I'm
Okay.
silent as the grave.
Okay. I dated someone who um who
Saw an Instagram ad.
we
Sorry.
yeah, okay. Well, so yes, but I'm just saying from this is how I found out. I was FaceTiming with him and something on his face looked different and I said, "What something looks different about you." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I got my eyebrows done or something." And I was like, "Yeah," cuz his eyebrows looked so thick and dark. And I was like, "Yeah, what'd you do? You got them tinted?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I got them tinted." And I was like, "Okay, that's so random." Like okay, whatever. I was like, okay, someone like talked him into that. And he's like, yeah, I saw an Instagram ad or I saw like this place on Instagram. And then I just went, like, they were, I don't know, they had a deal on this. And then like I went and did it. I'm like, whoa, that's already insanely crazy. Not like if a man wants to do that, fine. But I just was like, oh my God, that seems so out of character and yet oddly in character. So, but like not someone who gets procedures done. So I was like, oh my God,
No,
that's so
someone that
strange.
just does things.
Yeah.
Like someone that doesn't
And,
think.
and then I said, no identifiers. And then whatever. So then I'm like, okay, he clearly doesn't want to talk about it. So we kind of move on. And then like I'm talking to him again the other day, and the other day. Nope, this was years and years and years ago. And like I talked to him again the next day, and I was like, okay, something. No, I saw him in person. I saw him in person
Okay.
next, and when I saw him in person, I could see that his eyebrows had little like flecks in them. Like it was not tinted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm someone who tints their eyebrows, so I was like, this
Mm-hmm.
is not dye. This is
Mm-hmm.
microblading.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, did you get your eyebrows microbladed? And he was like, oh, yeah, yeah. Like, oh, yeah, is that what it's called? Like, kind of playing dumb. I'm like, you
You
tattooed your
tattooed.
face? You tattooed your eyebrows. Like, that
And
is
it's
such
worth noting that they were
Sam.
crazy. They were like a little crazy. They were a
Oh,
little
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
looking, the eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, for sure. As microblading often is in the beginning, like, especially
Mm-hmm.
when you first get it, because it kind of needs to fade and it needs to like scab and fall off and whatever. And like, I
Mm-hmm.
have never had noticed a man's eyebrows or a problem with them at all.
Hmm.
Like I've never, so that was something where I'm like, what an interesting insecurity that maybe you always had, or maybe someone just talked you into this and you didn't really think about it. But like, do you understand you've now tattooed your face on a whim and
And
didn't tell
I'm
your
not,
girlfriend?
and I don't like it. And I don't
Yeah, I
like it.
didn't
Like,
I didn't
that's,
like it. I didn't like the look. I really didn't like that he did something so intense, like just on a whim, I think, unless he was thinking about it forever, and that's also weird that that wasn't shared with me. And then just like went to a beauty parlor and got his fucking face tattooed.
insane.
And then didn't tell
Absolutely
me
insane.
and let me be
Yeah.
like, what's different about you? And then went, oh, yeah,
That's because men are so funny. Like, they don't notice shit on us. So they're probably like, oh, yeah, I got my eyebrows done, whatever. Like, they don't notice
it
when you get your
was.
eyebrows done. They probably are like, I
It was
remember. I
so
remember looking at
strange.
them. I think you screenshotted the FaceTime and showed it to us.
I
And we
was.
were
I was
like,
like,
whoa.
guys, oh no,
You
what's
were
what's
you were like
happened?
also unattracted to the whole concept.
Yeah. I mean, I was unattracted to the concept, but the thing that bothered me the most was honestly how like nonchalant it was and how like you thought of just doing something like this and didn't think of like being like, "Oh, do you know anything about this? Like what's do you know about
Yeah.
microblading?" Like I kind of feel like my eyebrows are too light. I like want to do that. And I would have been
Yeah.
like, "Well, think about it." Or maybe try
But this
tinting them
also relates,
first and see if you like that
yeah.
look.
But this
Like,
also relates back to the question, whereas like he did end up getting microblading and you did not like how it looked. And it was like a problem for like a while being like, okay, like do I like not like your face now because you got this tattoo over your eyebrows that make them look
and I feel
honestly
like you're
kind of
wearing
spooky?
makeup now.
Yeah. Like,
And
and is that
also,
wrong of you to have that reaction? Like, no, I don't think so. I think like you've been dating someone for X amount of time or like whatever, and you're dating them for that reason, that if they drastically change their face, I think you're allowed to be like, uh, I don't know. Like,
yeah. And I
it's
mean,
a
in
nice
that case, it
concept to
was
think you
pretty
just,
much permanent. So there was no point in me saying anything. This wasn't like something he had to keep up. But let's say
yeah.
he actually was just tinting them and not microblading them. um, and like went and did that monthly. I think
Hmm.
in that case, I could say like, I don't I don't love how this looks. And if he's like, "Well, I
Yeah.
do," then I guess that's just life, but
Yeah.
I do think I probably would have said something. Although maybe not with him because he didn't really seem to care about my opinion, clearly. So,
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know, but I feel like I
Oh.
would get Botox without telling Luke um for a while,
But
like
like
he didn't know
Botox
for a
isn't
couple
the
years.
same.
Well, he
Like you
and I did
cannot, when
it.
you're young,
Yeah.
like
No,
your face is
exactly. Like
already
he
like
didn't
not.
notice. And then, but I've always gotten like that same amount where like he wouldn't know if I had it or not. And I like how it
Hmm.
looks. But to put in perspective, like obviously I haven't gotten it since I was pregnant. I haven't
Yeah.
gotten it since March. And I kind of don't care. Like I do notice a difference, but no one else in my life would. I'm kind of just like, I
Yeah.
don't even know if I'll bother getting that again
Yeah.
later.
I
Like,
I wonder, can you get Botox when you're breastfeeding or no?
no.
Oh, okay. So it's like a long run anyway.
Exactly. I'm hoping by then I just am like, you're good on that.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like, I might do a pick me up once in a while, but if Luke was like, I really don't like that you do that, I actually prefer your face without
Yeah.
any of that, then I would not. Then I absolutely would not.
Yeah.
So, like, not like
Unless it
I'm
was like
doing
your
it for
biggest
him, but if
insecurity,
he
it's hard.
actually didn't like it, then I would not.
I just wonder like if it was your biggest insecurity, like if Joe said to me, I don't know. I can't like think of an example because I don't have this done right now, but like if I did get to start really getting bothered by like lines on my forehead or something, and I just wanted them smooth or something. I feel like there's like levels of things that can bother you. Like if
Well,
I
that
guess
is
what
the
I'm saying
thing.
is Botox, your face looks the same. So it's hard to say. Like
True.
unless you
Yeah,
like
and
can't move
especially
your
the way I
face.
was doing it. And my thing
Yeah.
also is like he's looking at me in person, which fine. In the mirror, it's fine. My problem is that I have to see myself on on camera a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
was doing auditions and stuff and fixating on that, and I felt like it was like it yeah. So that
It
is
was like
kind of a different
hindering
thing because
your,
it wasn't about
yeah.
how he saw me in person. It was actually about how I like appeared on camera,
Yeah.
which is not his
Yeah, so
experience
that's
with
different.
me.
But
So,
I feel
yeah.
like if it was something that was changing your face, because Botox is kind of preserving your face, where it
Mhm.
unless you get too much, and then you're like, and you
Or
can't
in the wrong
emote. Okay,
places.
so
Yeah.
whatever. But like filler is something that changes your face, and I think that your partner should be able to say, especially your husband who married you, should be able to say if the changes you've done to your face have gone too far.
Yeah. I agree.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's anti-feminist. I think that's fucking fine.
Well, that's like a trusted loved one
Hmm.
sharing their opinion. But I know it can be a fine line with some things because I remember I dated a guy once and I was like stressing about my weight, which is funny to think now because like it was at a time when I know for a fact I was like skinny. And but like
Oh,
I
she
guess
cut
I was
out.
just starting to
She
be
cut out.
like,
I'm going to
"Oh,
finish her
I'm
sentence.
worried about my weight." And I remember him being like, "Well, just don't eat like sweets or whatever." And I was kind of like, "Okay, I'm complaining to my boyfriend about my weight and I kind of didn't want that answer. I kind of wanted you to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, it's not like it doesn't matter.
You look
Like
great.
you're not." Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, well obviously I can like cut back daily, but I'm like, but what about on my birthday? Like my birthday was coming up. I'm like, I'm going to have like cake on
Yeah.
my birthday." And he's like, "Well, you could just not. Like you don't have to." And I was like, "I shouldn't eat cake on my birthday." And then it made me be like, "I'm
It's like a
that
fight now.
fat?" And then I remember being like, "Wow, I really didn't need you to be that honest about what I should do." And like later we did fight about it and I remember him being like, "I don't know, you were complaining about it to me and it seemed like something you like were stressed about. So I said this is what you should do." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Well, no, you're supposed to say I'm skinny." So weight is a tough one.
Weight is a tough one. Weight is a tough, but you know what? I will say weight is a tough one, but weight is also one where if you go too far either direction, I do believe intervention is needed on either side. I
I
think if someone's
guess.
getting to the point where they're like
I guess if you know
obese,
their habits, like if you can actually see
yeah,
like if
yeah,
it is
yeah.
a loved one
If
who
you know
like
that they're,
knows there's been a
yeah,
change, yeah, in like an unhealthy
yes,
habit. Yes.
totally, 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 totally. Yeah, yeah. That's more what I mean. I don't mean like someone that just like, whatever gets like
Hormonal
a
changes
thyroid
or
issue or
something.
something.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm talking about people that like just like have unhealthy habits and go too far either way. I think if you're like close enough to that person, that is something that you should say something about because weight is something that can actually affect like the rest of your health.
Yeah. That's true.
And like someone's got to say that to you.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if the person is like close enough to you, like you if you said something like that to me, it I would take that well because I like know
Right.
you're
But
coming from a good place.
my
Like when
intentions,
you
but I
told me
would
not
only
to
say that to
do that gender reveal.
yeah, like that. No, I would only say that if I was like concerned because like you were so large that you can no longer breathe properly or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I've seen people in my family go that direction and my dad has had to say like you're getting too large
Yeah,
to
I'm concerned.
and like out of concern, yeah, because it's like you can't breathe, your fucking heart, we have heart failure in our family. Like it's like yeah, your arthritis, everything gets worse if you're unhealthily overweight, and everything alternatively is really bad if you're unhealthily underweight, which I have a lot of experience with because of all the people in my life that I've had to
Well, yeah. I mean,
randomly help through that.
yeah.
So I think there's certain things that you should be able to say to people is my bottom line. If you're
I
close
agree.
enough with them.
Yeah, I
And that's
agree.
that. So you should be able to tell your wife that you don't like her face. And I do agree. That is something that I would be concerned about if I had a daughter. I would not want because
Right.
this
Yeah.
is true too. Every eating disorder, or like disordered eating in general, like there's overwhelming evidence that it comes from watching your mom's relationship to her own body.
Yeah, either of
And
your
like
parents.
either of your parents for sure, but I don't know, I read something that it was like your mom whatever, it doesn't matter, but
As a
yeah,
girl, I
like I
guess,
think
yeah.
that as a girl I think you need to
No, but I
have
think
like,
your dad can too, because like that's like male approval and stuff too. If your dad makes comments about
oh
food or
totally
his
totally,
weight, like it would have the same effect.
hmm totally, yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. And I think, yeah, I think either way it like, so yeah, you have to like set that example for your kids 100%.
For sure. Luke does not eat vegetables, and I'm like, you need to sort that out by the time we have a kid. I'm not having my kid look and be like, oh, well, dad's fine and not eating vegetables. And like, because obviously,
Hmm.
the thing you say to kids is like, oh, you have to eat your vegetables so you like grow tall and strong. And then he's going to look at
Hmm.
Luke, who's like tall and strong, fine looking, like
Yeah,
healthy, and doesn't
yeah,
eat vegetables. I'm like, I don't know what you're going to like. Ideally, you would just eat them, but like you're going to fake
yeah,
eat them. Like my kid is
yeah.
not knowing that you can just not eat vegetables. Like that's insane to me.
Well, you really can't not eat vegetables because Luke also has gout.
Yeah, exactly. But you wouldn't know that from the outside,
From looking at him. No,
from
you
looking
definitely
at him.
wouldn't know that from looking at him. But if he got a limp, you would know.
When he has a flare up,
Yeah.
which he doesn't really anymore
Gout is
because
painful.
he's not eating as much red meat too. But
That's good. Good for him.
but
But
yes,
yeah.
I don't want my son learning those habits.
No, no, no. But I also think you can just perfect your son's palate by like giving
Oh, well,
him
luckily
things.
I'm the one carrying him, and I've been eating
Yes.
vegetables for days.
Unfortunately, my child has only had cream cheese bagels, Kraft dinner, water, and crackers. So,
Well,
and it
it's the
was, oh, I
first
think I told you
trimester.
this. Yeah, so I don't care,
He's
but I think
not
I told you
drinking
my
that yet.
mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I told you that my mother-in-law was like, you should ask your doctor how to get the nutrients, like whatever. And I was like, I'm not eating anything else.
No.
That's it. If my
Some
doctor
people
says
don't
to
even
me, if
eat
my doctor
anything,
had the
so
gall, oh, for sure. Like if my doctor did have my doctor wouldn't care if I said, hey, like my first trimester's fucked. My doctor would be like, yeah, no shit. But my mother-in-law got concerned. She was like, oh, like how are you going to get vegetables? And I'm like, I'm not. Period. I am not eating a fucking vegetable. You can't pay me to eat a vegetable right now. Sorry.
yeah.
But
You're lucky I'm
yesterday
fed.
I did. You're lucky I'm eating at all. Yeah, exactly. Like, so anyway, if anybody else is not eating vegetables during their first trimester, don't fucking worry about it. I'm
You'll
force
eat
feeding
them
my kid
later.
broccoli. I don't give a shit. Hmm.
Yeah. And you'll crave it. That's the thing. Like that's the cool thing. When you need stuff, it's like actually kind of it's never been easier for me to eat because
Hmm.
I actually crave exactly what I want. Like I know when my body needs protein and then that's what I want to have.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know what my body needs. I just
No,
need
but
to eat something
later
that
I'm
like,
saying.
yeah. I could fuck with a carrot. I could fuck with a carrot.
Great.
I don't have any carrots here, but I could fuck with one. If someone like offered me a carrot, I'd eat it.
In my first trimester, I ate a lot of English muffins with butter and jam.
Oh yeah, the
Like that had
best.
no
Jam. I've
nutritional
been
value.
into jam
Really?
recently. Big
I
into
cannot get
jam.
enough of fruit. Are you into fruit yet?
Yes, huge,
Okay, so
huge. Fruit
there's
is the only
nutrients
thing
right
that doesn't
there.
make me nauseous.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Fruit is like the only thing, and it's good. Like, also, if you're nauseous, fruit is good because if you eat something that like kind of turns you off, and then that's the worst because now you're thinking about it and you've already eaten it, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Fruit is a very good palate cleanser. And
Yes.
if you just eat like grapes or something, I put
Yeah.
grapes in the fridge and then eat like ice cold grapes or ice cold mango or
So
like
good.
something ice
Berries.
cold,
Oh.
berries, whatever. It's like such a good palate cleanser. And you're just
Okay,
like,
so
okay,
there's
cool. My mouth
nutrients right there.
feels, yeah, 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 I have fruit. Yeah. I forgot to say that. And your mouth feels completely different because you had a cold
Yeah.
fruit. So it doesn't feel
And
like
you feel like you're
nauseating
having a
anymore.
treat and like a drink at the same time.
Yeah, oh my God. And water is so good when you're pregnant. I love drinking
I
water pregnant.
agree.
It's
Ice water?
so good. Yeah, hell yeah, always.
Oh my god,
It's
the
the
iciest.
bomb. Ice water with like fucking throw a strawberry and some lemon in there. Damn, it's like it's a treat to drink. Like I love it.
Well, thank God. See, I think that's also the body being like, I need more of this, and then making you crave it.
Yeah,
So I
making
wouldn't
you
worry too
love
much
it.
about like oh no, I'm choosing to eat this. Like I think your body knows when it has to like survive on carbs, and then it will make you crave the stuff that the baby needs later.
Yeah. And that's good. And that's actually true. And that's really nice that the body does that for us.
And
And
everyone
that's
says the
actually true.
first trimester is about surviving.
It is. And I am just barely. And on that note, I do have to pee so incredibly badly that I
Yeah,
think we
well,
should
this
just
has
end
been
the
long.
episode here.
I
An
agree.
hour
Also,
45, baby.
you know it's time to go when our advice just devolves into talking about something else and kind of what we were just talking about at
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah, sorry. We also haven't like talked a lot because I haven't been able to talk.
I
I was
know,
on
but was
FaceTime
this a
with Annie
nice
the other night.
distraction?
Yeah, it is
Well, you were on
nice. I was on
FaceTime
FaceTime with all the.
sleeping.
I literally picked up the phone and just stared. Like, I felt like a prisoner in my own body. I was like, what's it like to laugh with these girls? Like, we were in a
That was
group
actually
FaceTime
probably
and I
nice
was.
though, because it was just like all your friends chatting around you and you got to close your eyes and listen.
Yeah, that was really nice. But from your perspective, it probably was like, why'd you pick up? It's just lying
No, I
there.
was just like, oh no. Poor girl.
Poor old gal.
Well, I'd
That's
like to
okay.
see ya. Maybe next week will be
Next week,
good.
I think next week's going to be the week. I feel like now I'm learning that like a little bit of distraction is actually good.
True.
But prior to this epiphany, I was like, oh no, like I don't want to make plans with anybody because I feel so sick like moment to moment that I don't
Yeah,
want to like have someone
unpredictable.
come over and then be like, sorry, I have to go lie down.
You have
Like
to
that's
go.
so
Yeah.
annoying. Yeah. So
Okay.
hopefully we just cross that bridge next week and we cross it together.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Hun.
Looking forward to it. All right,
Okay.
everyone. We have a lot of questions we didn't get to today, so maybe we'll do 2 episodes next week, I say, for no fucking reason at all.
Okay.
Should we do like 2 like 1-hour episodes next week? Like just like 1 hour.
Okay.
Quick.
Yeah. That's
Maybe
true,
that's
because we
good.
won't
We have
have that
so many
much
questions.
preamble. They can be kind of question-heavy episodes.
Question heavy episodes, Annie.
But we always find something to chat about, don't we?
Oh, but we could just be chatting for too long. We're so bad like that. Oh well. All right, everyone. Have a great
Okay.
Thanksgiving weekend if you're in
Yes,
Canada.
happy
Gobble
Canadian
gobble.
Thanksgiving.
And if you're in the US, sit around and wait another month, bitches. Have
Okay.
that holiday right next to Christmas for no reason. Look at us.
Yeah.
We got like a nice amount of holiday in
This is
between
the
everything.
perfect time to break it up.
It's the perfect time for Thanksgiving.
I mean, we're
I
not
don't know
celebrating,
why.
but
No, not celebrating, but like it's the perfect time for a long weekend. Not for me
Agree.
or Annie. We just stay at
But
our parents'
normally.
house and do nothing. But normally, yeah, if I was in school right now, ooh. I'm not though. All right. Everyone.
ciao.
Love y'all.